Okay, I think I got it. I think it's doing
Yeah, it says
video.
recording.
Yeah, it's doing video. So, okay. So guys, hey, Joe and Reeves, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I wanted to ask you guys, could you tell me a little bit about your whole e-commerce journey and why you got it excited about private label and selling on Amazon?
You want to go first?
Do you want to know how we first heard about it?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Can't name names.
I know I can't name names. Okay, we saw an ad for a short course, just an intro course, and it was coming to not too far from where we live. We signed up, we went. It sounded exciting. It sounded doable. It almost sounded easy. It sounded like fun. And from there, they upsold us a 3-day course, which we were excited about going to. We had to travel about an hour-ish to go to that. We went and stayed in a hotel. They told us more things that made it exciting and easy sounding, except they didn't tell us the truth.
Oh, well, that's one thing that I will tell you. I will tell you the truth, right?
You always have.
Well, good. So how much, I don't know the name of that company or course or whatever, but how much did you invest in your private label training?
Oh God, do you really want to know?
Yeah, I do.
Total, huh? Let's see.
Let's do before you met me and like how long you were in private label.
35K.
35K, and how long was that?
How long ago? That was
How long?
How long what?
How long ago?
Yeah, when did you do that? Like what year? And then what did you learn from investing $35,000?
October into the end of November. We went mid-October for the short course, Thanksgiving weekend for the long course, and that was in 17. So a year and about 3-4 months ago.
Okay.
And let's just say from after we really didn't start till after Christmas that year, which was January last year. From that point on, we were supposed to get help with sourcing, finding products, the right product to sell, the whole spiel,
Lots of coaching calls.
And I never did so much work in my life. I've owned other businesses before.
Okay.
This they don't even come close to this.
Okay.
The help that they were supposed to give, I ended up doing most of it myself.
Okay.
Including all the sourcing.
Finding companies to source from, manufacturers, making the deals, everything. It was not much help at all.
Okay. So they were kind of doing it as a, just pay the money and they're going to do like a done for you service. Is that kind of what?
No, they were supposed to have that. We were supposed to get help through coaching calls, finding products to sell,
okay.
Finding places to purchase them,
okay.
Learning how to import them. Then there was going to be a warehouse at the company that we signed up with, and they were going to be doing the pictures and the descriptions and the bullets and the barcoding and the poly bagging and the packing and the all of that, all the good stuff.
Okay.
And I think that's just about when all hell broke loose is when we met you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't even remember when we first met. Did we meet through Facebook, or do you remember?
August. I remember very well. August of last year.
Okay.
The beginning of August.
And was it through Facebook?
Yes. I was in a lot. I'm in a lot of Amazon Facebook groups.
Okay.
And I followed. I read your group for a while, but I wasn't in it.
Uh-huh.
And I liked what I saw, and you seemed extremely honest, which you definitely were, and you still are.
Oh, thank you.
And
straight across the board. As opposed
I hear
to
that
our
all the
first
time.
experience, which was lies on lies.
And I do remember the night that you called us and were on the phone for about 5 minutes with us.
Yes.
Actually, I think almost talking us down off a cliff.
Yeah. I'm laughing now, but I wasn't laughing then because I could feel your pain. And
It
whenever
was a horror.
Yeah, whenever you've been lied to and sold a bill of goods, especially for $35,000, guys, that's a lot of money, and there's two things you don't mess with: people's time and people's money. And as a boss, that's one of the first things that I learned, and it's so, so true, even with your own private label business.
The whole thing is we were looking to invest in something. We were actually looking at a lot of different brick and mortar businesses.
Okay.
And then we found this, and I would rather do something online than open a store any day.
Okay.
It's just two different animals. So when we heard all about this and we went through all of this, and we were very skeptical also, we did a lot of research on it, and we didn't jump in it right away. And like I said, I've had other business before. It's never what you're told. It's like, 2 hours a week. I knew that wasn't true from the start.
Yes, that's what we were told.
And that's exactly what we were told, by the way. Oh, yeah. And when we first contacted you is when all our shipments were coming from China and the FTC shut the warehouse where they were going down.
Oh, wow.
That's when I first contacted you.
Okay.
And our shipments, it's very funny. I don't know if you remember, they went from China to California, from California to Minneapolis. Then they had to send them back from Minneapolis to send them to California to send them to Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, wow.
Thankfully, they were delayed a little bit, or they would have been in this company's warehouse when it got shut.
Oh, thank God. There's so many people. There were over 500 people involved in this, different people. And a lot of them had stock in the warehouse that they weren't able to even access till probably 3 months ago.
Oh, wow.
I can't even imagine that.
So while our delays frustrated us, they ended up saving us.
Okay.
So a lot of boxes were here, and I don't know if I ever showed you pictures of the living room. Did you ever see pictures of our living room?
I didn't. I don't think so.
I'll send you some.
Okay.
It was literally like a warehouse and assembly line in here. I learned more in the 2.5 months that everything started arriving here till we got rid of it back at Amazon. I learned more about Amazon than I ever wanted to know.
I hear you.
In just 2 months. It was like a crash course.
Okay.
And it's like anything else. You're going nuts until you finally just get into the groove, and then, other things click.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was very interesting.
We're smiling now. We weren't smiling then.
I bet.
The expression timing is everything.
Right.
We got the news of doom only days before I was having a total shoulder replacement on my dominant arm.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, so not only was Joe going to need to take care of me, and I wasn't going to be totally alert about it, he also needed to dive in and see how he could save our company.
Okay. Well, I do know your brand, and I do know that you're selling products now on Amazon. So tell me a little bit about your sales. I know you had some issues getting it there and then starting to get some sales. And just this week, you sent me a screenshot of some sales. So can you talk about how that made you feel when all of that work that you put in, you can actually see it coming to fruition now?
Yes. I actually hired someone to copyright one of the products.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the products that I'm not going to name the products.
Okay. Yeah. Don't tell us.
Yeah. They copyright one of the products that's child parent.
Mm-hmm.
And or parent child, whatever way you said.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't selling at all. And they did copywriting, and they told us that it would probably take about 4 to 6 weeks for the Amazon algorithms to catch up, and then we would start seeing sales, and which is exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And we used your girl for the pictures, Tanya. Those pictures were amazing.
They are. I was like, who did your pictures? Yeah, they're awesome.
When you asked that, I was like, your girl.
Yeah. She does mine. They're awesome.
Yeah, stunning pictures. And that started picking up. And then one of the other products, we already had copywriting on it, and I was just tweaking it here and there and the keywords and stuff, and just learning a lot of stuff that I learned from your course.
Mm-hmm.
And that product itself does well on a regular.
Okay.
There is one that's a bomb.
Okay.
That no matter what I do with it, I just can't seem to give it away.
Okay.
I've done
literally.
I've done buy one get ones, and oh my God, and it stinks because the buy one, get one is all the way down at the bottom of the page. You don't see it. So I just changed it to a coupon because the coupons are different colors and they're up top.
Right.
So when people see a percentage off, hey, look, it's a deal.
Right.
So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to leave that for a few weeks.
Okay.
But yeah, it took a while, but we actually started getting deposits, which are now getting a little larger and larger and larger and larger and larger. And can I say an amount?
If you want to.
For us, and then we've only been selling for 5 months, remember.
Right.
So this next deposit that's coming in, I just looked at it, is $576.
That's awesome.
Which is the biggest one yet, and it's been steadily climbing. It's not always like that. It's one deposit might be $30, another one might be 90, and then another one might go back down to 70, and then it goes up to 230. But it's getting there.
Right.
And it is, let me tell you, it's exactly what I remember when you said, I don't care what anybody tells you, it's a lot of work.
Right, right.
It is. It's a lot of work. But you know what? It's like anything else. Like I said, once you do it for a while, a lot of it is no-brainer after a while.
Yeah, it's like riding a bicycle. Once you learn it, you'll
Yeah.
never unlearn it, and you're going to get on and start pedaling faster and faster and faster.
Yep, exactly.
Well, you told us the truth,
Yeah.
which was diametrically opposite from what we had been told before. And it's a whole lot easier to deal with things when you know the truth.
Right, right. And that's one thing that I always say, because people contact me and they're like, Becky, I want to quit my job next week and go sip Mai Tais on the beach. And I'm like, no. If someone's telling you that, don't.
Not yet.
Not gonna happen.
Yes. I mean, it can happen, but I mean, I still work a full-time career, and I've been selling on Amazon for 5 years. However, I do make more money on Amazon than I do with my 2 master's degrees, but I love the company that I work with. I love my chemist. I love my amazing husband that we retired, and he stays home with our boys.
I'm still trying to figure out how you did all of this while you still worked full time.
Well, and if you've listened to my story, Joe, I gained 50 pounds in 1 year. That's a lot of weight. And
I saw, yep.
Yeah, it's a lot of weight, and I'm working on getting it back off. But you know what? I wouldn't change a thing. What I would is I would teach people not to realize it's not going to happen overnight, that it is a journey. I mean, you don't have to cram and learn it all in 1 year, and just take it, one day at a time. And the most important thing that I want people to get from this is balance. You were kind of thrown in the fire because your shipment was sidetracked and rerouted and everything, but thankfully, like you said, you were able to get it at your home instead of God knows where it would have ended up.
We were one of the few lucky people.
Yeah. And you paid $35,000, and my course was $997 at the time that you purchased it. And at one time the course was $497, but people didn't see the value, because sometimes if people think they invest $35,000, they think they're getting something better than $497. So my coach said, Becky, raise the price. And so I did. And I got more sales at $997 than $497. And I know that I can even raise the price even more.
You had me do that with one of the products, and it started selling better.
Yeah. And
I had something selling for $9.99, and I upped it to $12.99, and it just took off.
Yeah. And I think it's the perceived value in people's minds, that, oh, I'm going to pay more, so I'm going to do that. And one of my coaches was like, $997, people are going to laugh you out of the marketplace. And it's truly because I want to help people. But then on the other hand, there are people like, oh, I want to keep my $997. And then they're just not ready, to take that leap yet.
What they don't realize is the value that comes from your course is going to get that $997 back for them very quickly.
Right. But that's something that, if people don't know me, then they wouldn't know that.
I'm still watching videos.
I still watch videos. I'm
actually still not done with I hit a certain point in the course, and all this stuff started going crazy. I turn on a video every chance I get to just get down the line. And it just, like I said, when it makes things click.
Right.
Because you'll be going crazy doing something, and then it just makes total sense.
Yeah, and I see that with all of my projects. Like when I tackle these new things, I'm like, And now that I've gotten more knowledge, it's like putting a puzzle together. It's like, oh, this piece fits here and this piece, oh, that makes sense now. And but at first when you're, maybe overwhelmed and you have information overload, could you give me some advice to give brand new people that are trying to, cram everything and learn it? Some people send me a message and they're like, Becky, I've watched a course for a week and I haven't found the product. What's some advice that you can tell for about that?
That's a good question. Really good question. First off, you're not going to find a product in a week. I searched for months, and I am not kidding. I must have searched for 6 months before I found one that I was interested in.
Not 2 hours a week.
Yeah, and I'm talking about I crunched all the numbers to make sure it was the right product. The mistake that was made was that the company we were dealing with should have said, like you did, start with one product. They didn't. So we started with 3 different products, which actually became 6. Now you got to do all the advertising for each one. It's impossible to do it all at one time. You got to add one at a time. And so the advice would be, take your time, find the right product, make sure you crunch all the numbers. Don't forget anything that you have to add. And I made a list, like you find your product, manufacturing, packaging, polybagging, shipping, barcoding, and it's got to get to the warehouse. You got all the fees from Amazon, the referral, the pick and pack, the storage, and everything else that goes along with it. 60 cents for every coupon. There's fees I couldn't believe it when I looked at those reports you showed, tell me where they were. Oh my God, I couldn't believe all these fees.
Fees.
Yep. And you have to figure all that into your product price. So it's better off to take a little extra time and make sure you have everything than to just dive in. Because if you dive in, like they had us do, it wasn't a good feeling. I gotta say, this is God's honest truth.
Okay.
If you didn't call us back that night, I don't know if I'd still be doing this.
Aww.
Because I was literally ready to kill somebody.
Aww.
Not that he would.
After everything that went wrong, and the best part is it wasn't the people we were dealing with. They were not the people that got in trouble, because I spoke to the FTC and I spoke to the receivership that actually ended up taking over the company for now, and they told us no, they knew nothing about it. None of them are in trouble. So they were good people.
Right.
And what we know now is they weren't particularly well trained.
Not at all. Not even close.
They seemed like they were because we knew nothing. But in hindsight, they gave us some really bad advice on an ongoing basis. Yeah. And I don't think it was intentional. I think they were good people. I think they weren't given the right training.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's an honest statement to say. So that's very honest.
I don't blame the people that were helping us at all.
Okay.
But
that's all they knew.
The main people who then connected us with other companies to get us registered in all sorts of states.
Oh, God.
One nightmare after the other. They wanted to give us fees for all sorts of things. They sent us a list. We took it to our accountant, and he left. He just marked them off. Nope, I do this for you. Nope, you don't pay $10,000 for that. You pay a couple of $100s for that. I mean, thankfully, we had him to look at that, because I could see how someone could really be sold on a lot of that fear. The fear factor. I need to protect myself legally. They're going to do all this. Well, they did some things. We did not receive most of the services we were supposed to. Some of what we got was just poor quality. Some of it, like the whole warehousing and packaging and shipping, none.
A lot of things. Like they talked us into incorporating in another state for non-disclosure reasons. It's harder to get at you, which we really don't need for what we sell. And if I knew that, then I would have just done it here. Because now we have to. Now I had to pay a registered agent for that state, a filing fee for that state. Then they called me up 4 days before the end of January and told me that, oh, it's time to do the registered agents for New York. I'm like, what are you talking about? I thought that's what I pay you for. Oh no, you have to do one for New York too. never did they tell me that I could be my own registered agent in New York. I found that after I paid it because I figured I got 4 days. I better pay this.
Right.
It's only a few weeks ago.
This just happened.
So the nightmare with them is kind of extending and continuing.
So we're gonna move everything here. We're just gonna get rid of them completely.
Okay.
It's been a mess.
Well, Joe and Reeves, I really do appreciate you guys talking to me, but one thing I really want to point out is I work with a lot of couples that are in the same situation as you guys were by different companies, not just the company we're with, but with other companies as well. And what I find sometimes is maybe the wife still has that little flicker of hope saying, I think this will work. And then the husband's like, no way. We already got scammed or whatever. And then sometimes it's the husband that says, I think I can. I think it'll work. And the wife is like, heck no. So what is your advice to the couples that are like, about it?
I'll let you go first.
Well, I certainly was not the driving force in resuscitating this business.
Okay. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I was very downtrodden after what happened, especially with it coming days before major surgery, and I could not deal with it at all.
Okay.
Joe is the one who has brought this back to life. He has put in copious number of hours every week.
Oh, I live with either my cell phone, a laptop, a desktop, my tablet, which is now dead. It has to be repaired because it's been turned on and off so many times.
Okay.
But there's always an electronic device in my hand. It's to the point where I'm a little ADD with this sometimes. If I wake up in the middle of the night for something, I'll check to see if there's anything wrong or if how the sales are going. It's so funny.
When I first started, I'm with you. I would have my phone and I would check it and I would hit where it refreshes all the time. And then I was like, no, it's out of sight and out of mind. It's going to sell. I know it's going to sell. So I'm just going to quit wasting my time. But when I was new, I always did that. And now I can't because it's just, it's just so much. But I did. And I remember that feeling. And I think you're not alone. I think everybody has those feelings too. But one thing I would caution you with is definitely have some balance in there because it can consume you. And I don't want you to gain 50 pounds in 1 year.
I'm trying. Okay. I'm trying. Like today, I made myself a promise I was not going up to the office.
Okay, good.
And I think I might have snuck in once.
Okay.
But I've been downstairs most of the time. I only turned the laptop on, believe it or not to check Amazon, to do something else that I had to return to Amazon that I purchased.
Okay.
So I've been trying to find the balance. I'm trying to do a lot of the things you told me to do.
Okay.
And one of the things I do want to point out is a subject that Reeves does not know that we touched on a long time ago. If you go into this as a partner, Becky's the one that actually I spoke to when you weren't really crazy about this. And she told me to look at it from your side.
Okay.
So I know you didn't know that.
No.
She's the one that stopped all the fighting we were having.
Okay. Thank you.
I do. I really want to point that out. That we went in together. We were all for it together, and then all of a sudden, she just wasn't into it anymore. And oh my God, there was so much tension, and what's the right word I'm looking for? Resentment, and I felt abandoned and all this kind of crap. And sorry about that. And then I sent you a message, like, what do I do? What do I do? And then you sent me back a nice long message. It's actually on the private group. It's in the private label group. It's still there. About you got to look at it from her side. Maybe it's not her thing. She thought she liked it, and it's just not her thing anymore. So
if it was what they told us, I would have been okay. I'm a little computer phobic, which doesn't work well with an internet business.
A little.
I'm functional. I have 2 other jobs, and they require me using the computer. And I have my limited skill set. And what I do, but this was just way blown up intimidating for me, and it wasn't what I thought I was walking into, and I froze.
Gotcha. And that happens to a lot of people. So don't feel like you're alone as well.
And that's why
Oh, go ahead.
I brought it up.
And he's an IT guy.
Uh-huh.
So this was way closer to
I'm
him.
talking about that's why I brought up what happened with,
Yeah.
Yeah.
fighting and
But
all that stuff.
I just didn't see myself being able to do this. And the more it became a problem, the more I shied away from it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So since you are the one who helped us through that hump, in retrospect, I thank you.
I never told her.
You're welcome.
Never told her.
Oh, okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. And I see that a lot as well. Like sometimes the husband or the wife, they're very consuming and they maybe, don't think about their spouse or, it's laser focus on getting this product to market.
The neglect? You mean the neglect?
That's the
There
word.
you go.
That's one word.
That's the word you used. That's the word you told me when I asked.
Yes. That's a very
Brutally honest.
brutally honest. That's me.
That's what I love about you. You say exactly what's on your mind.
Oh, I do. Sometimes to my own detriment, but I do. So, well, listen, guys, thank you so much. I know this little interview is going to help so many people, but one last question. Do you feel that you have enough skills now to go out and research and private label and import all on your own without the other company doing it for you?
I say yeah. I have enough information that I will be starting to look for another product in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Because we're dumping the one that I told you I can't give it away.
Right.
I'm going to just put it
donate that. Yeah, you can donate it and write it off on your taxes.
I'm going to do something with it. Yeah. But I could definitely, I know everything I need to look for at this point.
Okay.
So, and one of the favorite things is the niches are in the sub categories.
Yeah, the riches are in the niches.
The riches are in the niches, yep.
Yes.
And we were just talking about that. I was just telling Reeves about looking in the subcategory. And I am about that. And I was like, what do you mean? And then I realized what you meant. When you look on the left, you see the main category, and then you see all the categories underneath that one.
Uh-huh.
That's a nice area to look down there.
Yes.
One other great tip you gave us was to lean more toward consumables.
Yes.
Because the products we're selling are things that you sell once and they last for years and years and years.
Yeah, everything else will be consumable.
Yep.
And we went for super high quality, so they're not even going to be short-term use.
Yep. That's awesome. That's what I do. I mean, it just makes sense to me.
Yep. And before you run, I just want to say, an important thing is the packaging.
Mm-hmm.
I was packaging one of the items, and I'm like, it's 50 cents extra we can't really do that right now. It was 50 cents extra for a box with beautiful pictures and stuff on it, really done nice. And if I thought about it, it would have cost me not really that much for what it ended up costing. I had to go out to Staples. I had to find a picture on the internet. I had to go out to Staples and had to have them print 850 of them. Then I had to peel them, all of us. We had like 3-4 of us up here one night.
Oh my God.
Peeling the backs of pictures and putting them on boxes.
Oh my goodness.
So they would look nice. Then packing them back with the box we took them out of, taping it up again, labeling it again. It was freaking insane. There will never be another product ever stepping in this house unless it's a sample. Everything gets done where it's supposed to get done, and it gets sent straight to the warehouse.
Awesome. But hey, you learned. Yes, but you learn from your mistakes. So listen, guys, thank you so much for spending your time with me. Any last things that you want to say before we hop off of here?
Nah, that was the main listing I wanted to get in.
Yes. Thank you for being there when we needed you.
Yes.
Absolutely the most. And you made the difference between this sinking and swimming.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, well, thank you. Okay, guys, well, I hope you have a great night. And everyone watching, I hope you have a great night as well. Thank you.
Enjoy your weekend.
Good night. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.